Welcome to Gene and Mike do the New York Times crossword.
Hi, I'm Jean.
And I'm Mike. And today we are doing the crossword for Sunday, July 7th, 2024. So, did you do the crossword?
I did do the crossword.
And what did you think?
Well, it was clever.
Mm-hmm.
It was a very clever theme.
Right.
And it had animation, I think, right?
Well, it totally changed the appearance of the grid when you solved it.
When you solved it on your phone.
Oh, really?
Although I just looked at my phone, and it looks like the last, the final version of when you hear the music. But no, I don't think when I solved it on my phone it changed anything.
Oh.
But it is changed now. So maybe I just didn't notice it. I mean, they always have that. You okay? You won the puzzle.
Right.
So maybe I didn't think to look back, but.
Yes, but I mean, it definitely has a unique appearance that indicates it is not, once you've solved it, at least on a computer and probably on an iPad, it does not look like a typical crossword grid anymore.
Correct. That is correct.
Because of the amazing theme. The
amazing theme, which was entitled Double Digits, and it was by David Karp. And the themed clues, the answers were quite long. They were just common phrases, but they were quite long. And the reason they were quite long is that a certain expanse of the letters in the answer were doubled, as the theme says, double digits. So like the first one was 22 across. Admit one was wrong. And the answer to that was eat humble pie. Well, the T of eat and the HUMB of humble were doubled. So you had EATTHHUUMMBB and then LEPIE. So that made it rather unique, I guess. Mm-hmm. And the next one was 35 across, research trials using withheld information. And the answer was blind experiments. And here's where I started thinking, because of the double digits theme. I thought, it's really double blind experiments. So double must have to work into each one of the theme clues, but that fell flat pretty quickly.
Right. Well, I mean, you didn't have double in eat humble pie.
I hadn't gotten that one yet.
I see. Okay.
So anyway, the IND of blind and the EX of experiments were doubled letters. So it was IINNDDEEXX in the middle of that.
Right.
The third one was 48 across.
Yes.
Royal Whose Wedding had a whopping 1,900 guests, and that was Kate Middleton. And the middle, MIDDLE, those were the double letters. And then 76 across, friendly debate opponent was a sparring partner. Mm-hmm. And the last four letters of sparring, the RING, were doubled. And then finally, 92 across, lab mice of the 1990s cartoons, and that was Pinky and the Brain. And the letters in Pinky were doubled. Okay, so the revealer clue then was down here at 107 across, excuse for texting errors, jocularly, or a hint to this puzzle's theme. And that was fat finger syndrome, which I'd never heard of, but it's, the name is fairly obvious. When
you make
fat
typos.
Fingers, you would maybe, hit two keys at once and cause it to misspell things. Anyway, so you solve the puzzle, and those double letters then become large size letters, filling two squares, but just with one letter.
Yes.
The squares actually disappear. And so you've got these large, rather elongated letters, just one for each two squares. And so the first one, eat humble pie, you got thumb. In the blind experiments, you've got index. In Kate Middleton, you've got middle. In sparring partner, you got ring. And in Pinky and the Brain, you got pinky, all enlarged and elongated. So essentially, the names of the fingers on your hand.
Yes.
Thumb, index, middle, ring, and pinky.
Yes.
So very clever.
Ingenious. Absolutely ingenious.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine putting this one together.
No, it would have been a real challenge. First of all, just to find, fairly long clues with the names of the fingers in them,
Mm-hmm.
and then creating the puzzle around them would have been, I think a real challenge.
Well, I think apparently the author said it might have been in wordplay that, or in the crossword commentary that the constructor writes, that he enjoyed the fact that Middleton had actually 4 Ds.
Yes.
But when he first made the puzzle, just before he sent it into the New York Times, he realized he'd only put in 2 Ds.
Oh dear.
And so he had to completely rework that section.
Oh no.
But he was able to do it. I mean, anyone who could create something like this could probably fix a mistake, but that still must have hurt.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But you wouldn't know it.
Change all those down clues to include more D words.
I mean, that part of the grid looks great, just like the rest of it. All the clues look really interesting.
Well, and there are some words that go through 2 of those themed clues. So he would have had to, at the beginning of those answers and at the end of the answers, they're going through themed clues. So that too might have made it a little more challenging as well.
Right.
So,
well, clearly, perseverance is in David Karp's toolbox.
I guess.
So, yeah. The only thing that I regret is that once the answers got filled in so that every letter took up
They stretched
across. You lost
twice.
the original down answers.
Yes, that's true.
You sort of have to recreate them.
Yes, that's true.
But they've written the letters so that they overlap. So, for example, the B of thumb, half of the B is in the column 10 down, box mass blank minor, and the answer is in B. And half of the B is beneath the in, and half of the B is beneath 11 down, guitar sheet music for short, which was tab.
Right.
So actually, it really isn't that. Now that I look at it, it isn't that bad because you just look and take half the letter, and that's the letter.
Yeah.
Yeah. So need a bit of artistry and some clever programming by somebody at the New York Times to make that all work.
Yep, definitely.
Let's see. I found it to be a fairly challenging crossword.
I did too. It was a little harder than a typical Sunday, at least for me.
Well, there were a lot of drinks in this crossword. I hate to complain about the number of drinks, but I'm going to complain about the number of drinks. 15 down, popular brunch cocktail was a Bellini.
Right.
And I think popular should have been in quotes. But I'm sure actually it's a fine drink, but I just do not imbibe. And then we had, let's see here, 28 down, flight selections say. Boy, I thought, okay, it's plural, so it has to end in S, so I had 3 more letters to play with. So I thought legs. And then I thought I had an L-E, and so I decided it was going to be aisles, spelled I-L-E-S, for reasons that were not going to become clear to me. And the reason they didn't become clear is that was not the case. It was actually a flight of ales.
Right.
Have you ever heard of a flight of ales?
No.
Apparently it's like small drinks, I guess, that you get at a bar, so you can sort of like sample a lot of different ales.
Oh, yeah, sure. I've heard of that.
Really? I had never heard of that before. And I was basically at one point I was Natick there because 28 across, abstract painter blank Thomas was ALMA Thomas,
right,
who I did not know. And so at one point I'm like, all right, I'm just going to go through the letters. Now the last time this happened, which was yesterday's crossword, it took me to Z to get to the Zetas. This time it was A, got me ales and Alma, and I was done. But we also had, let's see, what was 119 across. Ingredient in a Bloody Caesar cocktail, Clamato.
Clamato juice, yes.
And that one, I don't know if I really knew, but I had a couple of letters and I thought it was Clamato. So, but yeah, that corner there with the Bellini and the ales was sort of tricky, and the ALMA. 12 across was sci-fi comic sound. And I thought, oh, it's going to be pew, as in pew, pew, pew.
Oh.
But it was zap.
Uh-huh. I thought about that, but it was only 3 letters, so I thought, oh, it's got to be zap.
Well, pew is spelled, in my case, I spell it P-E-W.
Oh, okay.
Sort of like the church furniture.
Right, yes.
Pew, pew. And let's see, another place, yes, actually, sticking with the alcohol theme, 15 across that gave us the first letter of Bellini was animal in the Bacardi logo. So I had it ending in AT.
Yeah.
So I thought, okay, is it a bat?
Uh-huh.
Is it a cat? Is it a rat? It sounds like the beginning of a Superman episode. Is it a bat? Is it a cat? Is it a rat? No, it's Bacardi.
Well, I had that same problem.
Really?
I did not know Bellini, and I did not know what the animal was on the Seagram's label.
I wanted to rule out rat.
I figured, it wouldn't be a rat.
Well, but some of these drinks, they have a very, like the one with the captain. I don't know what the drink is with the captain, but there's some person, the captain, and he looks like a fairly, I don't know, somewhat disreputable character. So I thought maybe it's a rat. I don't know.
A cute rat like Ratatouille.
Yeah, it just seems to me that you would be inviting inspections from the local health department if you had rat on your logo. So, 19 across, we've seen this before, but it still hurt. Egg-laying mammal was a echidna. Echidna. Mm-hmm. And your assured pronunciation there tells me that you knew echidna.
Well, I didn't know right off the top, but once I got a few letters, I'm like, oh, it is the echidna.
The only thing I could think of was otter, which
no.
First of all is probably wrong.
Right.
And
it does not lay eggs.
And doesn't fit.
No.
I wanted it to be an otter, though.
Mm-hmm. The only other one I can think of that's a mammal that lays eggs is
chickens.
No, platypus.
Right, that's what I meant.
I knew.
Yeah.
I knew that's what you meant.
Right. When I said otter, I really meant platypus. I might have meant emu or any of the other many animals that show up in the New York Times crossword.
Mm-hmm. I thought 18 across was a interesting Wayfair alternative. And, I have just been looking on Wayfair because we are thinking about purchasing an area rug.
Right.
For our newly remodeled basement.
Yes.
And the answer was IKEA. And I'm like, well, I guess that would be an alternative. Although I always think of IKEA as going to a store and looking at stuff, whereas Wayfair is online.
Right.
It's an online home furnishings store. So they're a little different, but I guess they could be alternatives. Well, we don't have an IKEA close to us now, so.
Sort of warming up in that area of the grid, I started off with Etsy.
That's what I thought too, but I thought that's not really right because Etsy's more,
right,
a crafty.
Right, exactly the same thing, because I remember you were looking at Wayfair, and it's like, I don't think they would sell rugs and Etsy. I mean, maybe they'd sell
braided rugs or maybe hand loomed rugs or something like that, but. Not the kind of rug we're looking for.
Yeah, I mean, Wayfairs look pretty much industrial.
Yeah.
In their outlook there. Mm-hmm. Let's see, 66 across was cries of pain, ows. I thought, yep, that's how I feel about the northeast corner. Ow. Oh, and then next to it, I thought it was sort of cute. The S of ows ran into 67 down. Assistant who handles more than 25 billion requests per month. That was Siri. Mm-hmm. And then right next to that, going across, 68 across, enthusiastic Spanish assent, CC.
That's right.
So we had Siri and CC.
That's right. Just perpendicular to one.
Yep. I don't know if
sorry, not perpendicular. What is that?
Actually, perpendicular, yeah.
Yeah, it is perpendicular, okay.
I don't know if David Karp possibly could have managed to do that by design, I mean, he's got so much going on in this puzzle, but it was still impressive.
Yes. I had a mistake.
I bet I know where.
Where?
102 across.
No.
4 or... Oh, okay. Carry on. We'll get to my mistake later.
Oh, okay. No, mine was 62 across. Delivery room figures for short.
OBS.
OBS for obstetricians, right?
Obstetrics.
OBs.
Obstetric people,
yeah,
yes.
OBs. And I read that wrong. I was thinking of, like statistics, like, well, there'd be the length and there'd be the weight. So I put ounces.
Ah. So OZS.
Or no, I'm sorry. I put pounds. LBS.
Oh.
LBS. But that crossed with 64 down.
44 down.
44 down. OMG, you are too funny, which turned out to be LMAO.
Right.
And for some reason, I was thinking it was LMAL.
What did you think that second L stood for?
I don't know. But anyway, it turned out to be OBs, not LBs. So.
Well, my mistake, yeah, and nice job of catching that. My mistake was 102 across, 4 or 6 pointers, say, and I had STA, and I thought star, and because a star could have 4 or 6 points.
No, it couldn't.
Haven't you ever seen a square star? I mean, okay, 6 points. 6 points would work, right?
Yeah.
And 4 points, if you did, it's just sort of like
more like a cross.
It's sort of, well, yeah. I mean, a lot of it'd be like a cross, and
or an X, depending on where your points are.
Well, no, I want it to look like a plus sign. I mean, sometimes when they take pictures, like, I don't know, in the Hubble Space Telescope, you'll see the infrastructure that holds the mirror in place. You sort of see that in the stars, and you get that plus sign. So I was perfectly fine with star, which meant that the tune first seen on the Huckleberry Hounds show, 95 down, was Yori. And I'm like, who's Yori?
Oh.
It's like, I should know, the Huckleberry Hound show. And I thought, oh,
Yogi.
wait, Yogi.
Yogi Bear.
And 4 or 6 points, that meant it was a stag.
That's right.
That helped immensely.
I bet.
Because then I could go back in the corner and deal with Elma and Ailes. We had 107 down. Every time I see this clue, I'm amused, and I really wish I could just remember it. Rapper blank Ridda. Florida. Flow is in Florida.
That's right.
So, anywho, yeah, lots of great things happening in the grid, and that overall theme was fantastic.
Yeah, it was fun.
I mean,
but it was a challenge.
Sunday, very early going here, but I think we have to remember this is a candidate for JAMCOTWA.
We do.
Definitely in the running. So, David Karp, if you want to lobby us, drop us a line, crosswordpodcast@icloud.com.
And get your friends.
Oh, yep. Always,
relations.
Always glad to talk to a fellow Canadian, because apparently I think he's at UBC, University of British Columbia.
Oh, very good.
So, all right. Well, that is it for today. Thanks, everyone, for listening. Hope you're enjoying these crosswords and these podcasts about these crosswords. Let us know. crosswordpodcast@icloud.com. That's it for today. We'll see all of you again tomorrow.
Bye-bye.